Good evening, you're watching the news on Croatian television. After meeting with opposition leaders yesterday, Slovenian Prime Minister Miro Cerar announced that he would not meet with Croatian Prime Minister Andrej Plenković in Zagreb unless the implementation of the border arbitration ruling was at the top of the agenda. Slovenia is insisting on the full implementation of the ruling, which granted it access to international waters through Croatian territory.
It is therefore clear to me why one segment of the Slovene legal profession is gradually backing away from this ruling, or better said, they're trying once again to promote new talks. On the other hand, I believe a new round of talks would be to our advantage. Within these talks, Croatia could, perhaps even on the basis of this ruling, find some kind of solution that would be satisfactory to both sides.
It is a paradox that Slovenia is preoccupied with the international and internal implementation of the arbitration court's ruling, and Croatia is preoccupied with the question of refusing to recognize the arbitration ruling, meaning that both sides are preoccupied with the arbitration ruling, which according to international law, and as a professor of international law I have to say this, does not exist at all. It is null and void, because the just cogence principles of international law were breached.
Meanwhile, the Slovenian Interior Minister says that Slovenia will implement the arbitration court's ruling in full. She said that the Slovene police are already implementing the ruling at sea.
Since the decision was announced, the Slovene police have been keeping the entire Slovenian sea secure. It is especially caring for fishermen and will, if need be, protect them from any eventual action by Croatian security forces.
President Kolinda Grabar-Kitarović sent an open letter to the Mothers of Srebrenica activist group in response to their claim that her recent statements were creating an atmosphere conducive to new attacks against Bosnian Muslims. The president noted that she values the contribution of Croatian Muslims during the homeland war and that Bosnia and Herzegovina does not and will not have a stronger ally on its path to Euro-Atlantic integration than Croatia.
Therefore, I warned of the danger from extremism which is or could be inspired by the twisted interpretation of religion, one that I experience as a religion of peace and love for our fellow man. I never mentioned Islam, Bosnian Muslims, nor Bosnia and Herzegovina as a possible source. However, I am confident that you share my belief that international terrorism and all forms of extremism represent the biggest threat to peace in the world and our joint civilization values, and that it is our joint responsibility to stop anything that can diminish or undermine our kinship.
The Conflict of Interest Commission has announced that it will initiate proceedings against Deputy Prime Minister Martina Dalić for an undeclared bonus received in 2016 by her husband Niko Dalić, a longtime board member of the INA Oil and Gas Company.
At today's session, we initiated proceedings against Martina Dalić for failing to account for a discrepancy in her submitted asset declaration, which was established during a routine check of the declaration and deals with the official's husband. I don't know the details. What I do know is that I requested of the Commission that it give me instructions as to the process of declaring bonuses, given that my husband is employed in a company that requires him to respect trade secrets and confidentiality. Unfortunately, I have not yet received a response from the Commission, so I can't tell you anything more about how to proceed.
Minister Dalić also commented on the moving of the HOS memorial plaque from Jasenovac to Novska due to the World War II Ustasha salute it bears. She said that in spite of discontent from coalition partners, the HNS and the Independent Democratic Serb Party, the government remains stable.
The solution we've arrived at is the one you saw yesterday, which was the first phase of the solution. The complete solution will be adopted within the appropriate legal procedure on the basis of the recommendation of the Commission for confronting issues from the past. We expect a significant contribution from the Commission with regards to solving these divisive ideological issues.
Speaking for Croatian radio today, Veterans Affairs Minister Tomo Medved said that a complete solution for memorials bearing slogans of totalitarian and undemocratic regimes, including Chetnik memorials, would be adopted only after decision from the Committee for Confronting Issues from the Past.
We want to find a consensus in our society through which we will articulate what is and what isn't acceptable in Croatian society.
According to the State Statistics Bureau, exports in the first 7 months of the year saw growth of 13% when compared to the same period last year. However, imports also rose by 10%, leaving Croatia with an import-export coverage percentage of 62%. Heavy rains this morning helped firefighters put out a wildfire near Krilo Jesenice. Firefighters are still closely monitoring the area. Police have arrested one suspect in connection with the fire.
In question is a 29-year-old from the wider Omiš area. He has been questioned by police and a criminal investigation is underway. Given that there is reasonable suspicion, he has been placed in custody.
Agriculture Minister Tomislav Tolušić opened the 25th International Bjelovar Fall Agricultural Fair in Gudovac today. The fair has gathered some 500 exhibitors from 15 countries, presenting the latest in farming machinery as well as the best domestic livestock. Taking a quick look at sports and Eurobasket 2017. The Croatian national team arrived in Istanbul, Turkey today, where they will play Russia on Sunday for a spot in the quarterfinals. That game starts at 8:30 p.m. local time.
The Russians are a very physically dominant team. They've got a lot of size at each position, so the rebounding is very good. At the same time, we tend to do well against teams that are bigger and perhaps slower. Šved is a great individual talent who can create for himself and others, so we got to stay on top of him. And Mozgov is a 6-year NBA veteran.
And now the forecast for tomorrow. Morning fog in the interior and variable cloud cover in coastal areas in the morning. More sun is expected in the afternoon, although there is still a chance of some isolated showers. There will be a moderate to strong southeasterly on the coast. Morning lows of 10 to 15 degrees Celsius inland, 16 to 21 on the Adriatic, will give way to highs of 21 to 26 degrees. The 3-day forecast for the interior calls for partly to predominantly sunny skies and warmer temperatures on Sunday and Monday. Tuesday will see increased cloud cover with intermittent rain, thunderstorms, and cooler temperatures. The coast will see variable cloud cover with isolated showers, especially on Monday night. There will be a strong to very strong southeasterly, shifting to a southwesterly and northeasterly as temperatures dip slightly. And that wraps up the news. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night.